Hello and welcome to another episode of the Electric Norwegian. I'm Mats. Yes, it's another car from Andresenbil. This is a EQE AMG. It's actually my first time driving an AMG. There's no anything. I've driven M Sport, Beamers and all sorts, but not this thing. I know it doesn't have a thumping V8 in it, which is the only reason you buy an AMG model, is because of the noise. The glorious noise of the V8. This is quick. It's seriously quick. This is the charge port, which some lights and stuff. It's very nice. This is a saloon, mind you. This is unlike the EQS, built on the same platform. This is not a hatchback. It has the AMG models has the Panamericana grille from the Carrera Panamericana, was one of those crazy long road race things that they ran on both sides of the war, really, pre-war and after the war. They were sort of went out of steam in the 70s simply because the cars became too fast and the streets were too narrow and all of that stuff. It has a decently shaped boot, but it's sort of, well, again, I feel it could do better. These, for instance, take up a lot of space and could have been designed. Normally now the hinges are on the outside, so yeah. And it has a hook, so you can hook. There it has a half automatic, so you have to kick it up and down yourself. This goes up and down. It has a lot of horses and a lot of torques. Massive brakes, 21-inch wheels, Michelin Pilot Supersport EV now, apparently. Four-wheel drive, of course. And it looks better than the EQS in the sense that it looks a bit less like a bar of soap. And I'm owning a Porsche Boxster. I should be very careful about saying that, but it's true, it is sort of boring. It's pretty dark in here, isn't it? And then you have to push it again. Your pen holder and your cup holder to do this, and then halfway. It's a bit faffy and complicated. I can sit beside myself. I have space, but not too much of it, so this isn't that good of a taxi car. I know this is the AMG version, but still. Climate controls, of course. USB-C here. Pockets. Standard Burmester sound system. As per usual. Rather good, actually. This is not a super duper Burmester. This is just a standard one, but even the standard Burmester sound system is not exactly shabby. No. There is no space under this trunk, or I'm sure there's plenty of space under it, but we can't access it. Mercedes say you as a customer have nothing to do there, and they have put the world's most advanced air cleaning system in there, so there's no space, which is strange because, well, so this is where you fill your washer fluid. I know, it's stupid, but that's life. The i3 had a frunk, and, well, the i3 is a tiny car. That's all I have to say about that. And listen to this. These are frameless windows. And it sounds like that. And I really didn't think anybody could pull that off, but Mercedes has. Congrats to that. Now the interior. This does not have the hyperscreen, as you can see. seats are, I don't know, probably AMG specific. They're good. Plenty of storage down here, more charge points, storage. I don't know what that is, a key or wireless charger, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. More charge points, cup holders. Big screen, and you can push the AMG in here. You can put, so this is, I like this, you can put the driveline in so dynamic or sport. You can put the suspension and the chassis in comfort or whatever you, so you can adjust it that, so you can have a very, very quick car, because this is a quick car, and you can, but it can still be comfortable. Big fat screen, chargers here, and it's quick and responsive. It's the tiniest bit of lag to it, not really very much. With buttons there to take you to the most natural thing. And then the steering wheel. Now this is new for Mercedes. In some ways it's logical, because it's split. That's your media volume and telephone stuff. That's your big fat screen, so you can run most of that on here. That's the instrument cluster screen, so you can modify. You can push this, for instance. You can choose different views here. Very nice. That's very Audi, but I like it. We're at 40%. We have here we have around 182 kilometers indicated. I like this range thing. It's a minimum indication of 137 and a maximum of 192. Again, it gives you a window within which you can work, which is very, very nice, because it gives you a bit more, particularly if you're a new EV driver, it gives you a bit more confidence in the car. And like I said, they've split it. And this is your adaptive cruise, of course. And it looks a bit overwhelming when you get into the car and you see all of this, like, whoa. But once you get used to it, it's okay. They're touch sensitive. They're not, well, they're both buttons and touch sensitive. They work okay. The only thing I haven't gotten to work properly is the adaptive cruise control, because I can't set the speed. I'm trying to, but it doesn't. Anyway, probably me doing something wrong. Those two are for the AMG specific versions. This is for the general setup, Sport Plus, the usual things, really. You can put your handling modes on and off and stuff. And here you can run your sound, balanced sound, sport sound, powerful sound, different things like that. These pedals, big nice pedals, are for your region, and yeah. Materials wise, well, there's also a big space down here with even more power outlets. You're not short of power outlets, that's for certain. Materials wise, it's okay. It's not, this is a Tara, this is something else. It's not a bad put together car, this. It's really, I like it a lot. It has that, a bit like the i4, except this costs twice as much. Almost. This is German, and the quality, the execution of everything, and the suspension setup. This is air suspension, adaptive, of course, and the Tesla does not. It's really something about so you can't really compare them. Is it a better car than the i4? I don't know. It's a different car, and so maybe that's your answer. But both of them are very, very dynamic, very quick cars. So is the Model 3, but that's a lot. That's half the Model 3 performance. It's half the price of this thing. So you can't really compare them because they don't cross shop. In that sense, they cross shop on the numbers game, but they don't cross shop in reality. Bjorn range tested one of these, and he got around 400 kilometers out on top, 450 out on the top, and 300 and something out at the bottom, which isn't really all that impressive. But of course, this is first generation of an AMG. I'm sure they will come with updates. They will update the drivetrain. They will optimize. It's quiet, it's comfortable. Now I got the motor set up in dynamics, so it's quick. And then I got the chassis in sport and the sound in sport as well. So, well, let me see if we put the whole thing just in sport plus. Stop here and see if we click it now, what happens. Oh yeah, okay, there. Oh, yeah, it's quick. And this is with 40% left on the battery, so it's even quicker if you really just fill it up, because that was launch mode. And it doesn't kill you. M3 Performance is probably quicker. And the old S is improved. But again, this is limited now by the battery, not by anything else. Oh, this is my kind of car. Consumption figures are just silly. Running 300 and up in the 330s, but of course, well, if you've taken it just down and easy and you cruise along these roads, then the consumption will instantly fall to something more easier to live with, as it were. Not quite as quiet as I thought it would be. I haven't driven the EQS, but because this runs on fat tires and then Michelin tires, so yeah, that's probably it. It has passive rear wheel steering though, as you can see. We'll get down now. Look at this. Can't do that in your Tesla. You just can't. Sorry. Being a big fat heavy car, you can still just throw it about, and it doesn't exactly hang around either. Does it feel quite as dynamic as the i4? I don't know, not entirely. It's slightly different. I don't know why. Maybe that's down to the active rear wheel steering. I'm not entirely certain. But this is 1.2 million kroner, which is about 120,000 euros. And that's a lot of money. So, is it worth it? Okay, what parameters do you put for that, to value that? You put the sportiness into it. Okay. The i4 is well set up, well put together sporty car. And that's a hatchback. That's not a cheap car either, but it's not as expensive. This is tuned by AMG, and the other one is tuned by the M division, so they sort of really do cross shop. I had to take off my Polaroids to see the head-up display, because Polaroid sunglasses. I like this car. I do. It's comfortable. It's quick. It's powerful. I'm sure it would have been even more impressive with the hyperscreen, but that's an added extra on top of this. It's a quite pricey extra as well. The instruments here are better than in the i4. They're a lot better actually, because you can individualize them and make them show you what you want, not what some designer think you want, because those are not always the same thing. And that's very good. That's very good. Right now, for instance, we use 2% of the available power, which is nothing. The adaptive cruise is brilliant, of course it is. Now you get quiet. You get, in quiet I mean no vibration and no engine noise, even in a VWE app, which is a small city runabout. So that floor level sort of is raised quite a lot. Because electric cars can make any power figure you care to imagine, just a matter of battery packs, power electronics, fuses, and to a certain degree the electric motor. The intense battle for the horsepower is sort of dead and over, and both this and the i4 got kicked rather handily in a Model 3 performance because it's really seriously quick. Both this and the i4 is a better car though, because you can put it in comfort and you can slip around, or you can put it in sport, and the adaptive sport suspension in these cars are far superior to any sport suspension Tesla has yet to make, at least that I've driven, because they breathe with the road and they're just brilliant really, and they handle the weight of the cars very, very good. As does the Jaguar I-Pace, as does the Porsche, because it's set up by people who know how to set up cars properly. But when I think about this, what's the price of this car, and I think of the little things like the luggage compartment and the lack of a frunk. When I drove the i4, I was really shocked by the competence of it, and the holistic kind of, how should I put this? The whole car felt like it had the purposefulness of the thing. This, it sort of doesn't. Not in the same way, not in the same immediate, like, oh my god, I love this thing. And I don't care about the front, I don't care about this slightly useless back seats and all that. Here, it's more like, well, you know. But I'm not shooting the car down. It's a brilliant car for what it is, in so many ways, and it does so much so good. But like I said, the bar, because of electrification, solved so many of the inherent issues with internal combustion engines. All of the things AMG and also the S-classes and the car comfort aspect sort of set out to solve doesn't exist anymore. The margins of difference that you have to differentiate on is smaller now than it used to be, if that makes sense. Is it a better car than a Tesla? Yes, of course it is. Is it a better car than a Model S though? I don't know, because I haven't driven the new S. I've driven a few older ones now, and I must say, that's a tough one to call. Because I know the new S is a much better car than what we've seen in Europe, because it doesn't exist there yet. Even if you want your electric AMG and you want your Mercedes, sure, this is a great car, because it is a great car. Oh my god, look at this! They've upgraded the chargers. This is new. And Mer has taken over them now, because there were Fortum chargers here before. The range numbers have been higher. I'm sure they could. But when I got the car, it was a sort of half prepped, so it's not really my fault. This is Phil's person's fault, because I forgot. But that's okay. It's okay, because that's the nice thing about a long range EV. It doesn't really matter if we get with 50%, because we still have plenty of range. What was I saying again about the dynamicism of it? I forgot to take that back. It doesn't feel quite as sharp as the i4 did. It's entirely. For some reason. Back in the Tesla again now, because it was running out of battery and I couldn't just change it, and I was stressed to deliver it back. Now the car is back. I'm feeling slightly nauseous. Don't know if that's the car's fault or it's me, so I won't blame the car for that. The EQE 45 AMG. Well, there's a lot of depth in that car. It's not as immediate as the, I use the i4 here as a reference. It has active steering on the rear axle, and sort of, it's a lot more, it lulls you into thinking there's not really that much happening, and then you begin to look at the speed and the fact that you're driving a 2.7 ton car, and this is really, it's a really competent thing. And it's a car that the more you drive it, the better it gets. I'm not sure if it's worth the money it's priced at. Like I said, I have never driven another AMG model before, and maybe that's how they're supposed to be. I mean, I'm thinking of the experience and such. But it's a good car, it's a very competent car, it's a comfortable car, it's a lot of tech in it. And if you're a Mercedes guy and you don't have the need for a big SUV, then this is absolutely a car you should check out. If you find the BMW too ostentatious, for instance, by all means check out the EQE AMG. It's a car that does a lot of things for a lot of people, so in that sense it's always worth it. Sound system is brilliant, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's good. Now I'm gonna see if I can get to the supercharger, because it says I'm gonna arrive with 2%. I'm slightly nervous. We'll have to wait and see. But thanks for watching. I do hope you liked the video. And like, comment, subscribe, all the usual things. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.